Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Kim. How are you?
I am fine. And yourselves?
We're lovely. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with AMR Elite Realtors with Taylor Properties. I am Alicia Richardson, owner of AMR Elite Realtors LLC, and I'm here with
Juanita Winky Kennedy, associate broker.
and we had the wonderful Miss Kim Lloyd. You can introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
My name is Kim Lloyd. I'm with Allstate Insurance. I've been in the insurance industry for well over 30 years, trickling from brokerage, where I dealt with high-profile commercial coverages, to personal lines, which is what I adore doing.
All right.
That is excellent. That is excellent.
Awesome.
So look, we're going to get back to the nitty-gritty. Insurance is always something everybody has questions about, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So my first question is there a basic insurance plan that you suggest to homeowners when they are first purchasing and then having them upgrade to something else, or does that even make sense?
Well, you always, there's no avoiding the basic. Just having, making sure that that you're forthcoming with everything about the home, meaning the features of it. Do you have, with the square footage of the home, if there are any, if there's what I call builder's grade or custom type features in the home, like the countertops and the cabinets, those types of things. What type of flooring do you have? Because the reason these questions are important is because if the structure burns down and it has to be reconstructed, you want to make sure that you're restored to the level you were before the loss. And then in an insurance policy, you've got the basic coverages, of course, the dwelling coverage amount of the home. And then if you have any family liability issues, like if you have a dog, you definitely want to have family liability coverage. And you can get, it starts off at like $100,000 and works up. And then guest medical in case someone's injured while inside of your home. And back to the family liability, if someone's injured outside of your home, let's say they're walking up to the house and they slip and fall because you've got damaged steps or something, there's coverage for that. Personal property for your clothes and your furniture, that type of thing. Any structures that are not attached to the home, like a fence or a shed, something like that. And then additional living expense. So in case something does happen to your home that makes it uninhabitable, you're actually covered to pay to live elsewhere until you can come back home.
That's interesting. She actually answered the second question.
Exactly.
But it was just something that you said in there, because I'm not thinking about when our buyers are setting up their homeowners insurance. I don't even think about the family part, like with the pet and all of that. I'm just thinking about the structure itself.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is when you're setting that up for not even just a first-time home buyer, but a buyer period, you're also including all of that into the plan.
Yeah, those are the types of things that are part of the policy. It's not optional. That's your basic. You're going to make sure that the structure itself is covered, that you're covered for any liabilities that you may incur in case something happens to someone else, like I said, dog biting. That you're covered in case someone's injured inside your home, that your personal property is protected, and anything that's not attached to the home. And that's the basic. But then for older homes, I always encourage people to have what's called building codes coverage. For an example, if your home was built in 1958, it didn't require interior sprinklers. If that house is burned down, it has to be rebuilt. It has to be built back to code. If you don't have that building codes coverage, the installation of those sprinklers the expenses coming out of your pocket.
Ooh, yeah. Wow. Now that's something right there, right?
Yes, yes. Right. So these are things that I always like to discuss, but I understand that, by the time you get to me, you've gone down a long journey. You just want to get it done. So I go with those things. But then I always let them know we've got to come back. We've got to come back because I want you to have a good understanding of what you're purchasing, because you don't want any surprises when it's time to file a claim. To find out, oh my God, I don't have coverage for that. And then you're mad at me, but no, you know, that's important to have that conversation. And then if you want, when you come, speaking of coming back later, let's talk about items in your home, like jewelry, anything that appreciates. You want to schedule the value of that on your policy, because if you don't, if those things are damaged or lost or destroyed, you're only going to get a maximum of like $1,000. Imagine getting only $1,000 for a $10,000 ring, or $5,000 a pair of earrings, or let's say fine art that you purchased for $5,000.
I've seen that happen.
Now, let me ask you a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
So if the person does have those items and they start to write them out, and they have a ring for $10,000, and they have a fur coat that's another $15,000, does that increase the policy amount?
Yes, but not as much as you think. It is far less than the value of the item itself. But at the end of the day, yes, it does increase the premium, but you lose far more if you don't cover it, and you get zero return on it. So yeah, and for example, there's additional coverage for like business personal property. I had a situation where this lady she's like a mobile makeup artist, and she left her products in the car. Sure enough, somebody stole them. And then when she filed the claim, they were asked, "Wow, what's the value of the makeup?" And she said like $1,000, maybe $1,500. And the claims representative said, "Well, that's a lot of what type of makeup is that? It's so expensive." She went on to say, "Well, I'm a mobile makeup artist, and I was on my way somewhere, and the claim was denied because that's not personal. There is a distinct difference between personal property and business personal property."
Wow.
Yeah, a distinct difference. So if you don't have a business owner,
if she had business insurance, that would have covered it, correct?
Well, if she'd had business insurance, business owner's insurance, or make it a part of her homeowner's policy, because
she would have had to have said, "I want to add the makeup to my homeowner's policy."
No, what she would want is, if I offered her business personal property, if she accepted that, then that would have covered that makeup.
Wow. I see.
Because there are a lot of people that work from home. So
that's true.
So that's a whole nother thing.
And say, for example, people who participate in these what do they call them, pop-up shops?
Right.
Okay. So they're taking that business personal property, their product, and they're traveling from wherever to that location.
Right.
There's something called inland marine, which only means traveling on land. So if you're transporting your product from one place to another, and let's say you stop along the way and somebody steals it, that's when it's covered.
Wow, I'm learning a lot. See, Miss Kim, I'm telling you, you are just a wealth of information, and it's like, and the funny thing about it though is that, I mean, this is so important because so many people do businesses, and even us as realtors. I mean, we get on the road with a whole bunch of stuff to take it to a place, to have a function. Setups and everything,
files in the car,
right? And it's like I've never thought about that.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, my mantra is knowledge is power, and to me, it's much more than just selling you insurance. I have been around for a minute, and I'm in the thought of giving back. So I want to make sure that my clients understand what you're purchasing. A knowledgeable consumer is a powerful entity.
Yes,
absolutely. That's why we birth coffee and conversation.
Exactly, exactly. And that's why when I have insurance questions, I call Miss Kim Lloyd.
I don't mind.
And I know sometimes, because it's really, like I said, insurance is just so vast.
Yeah, it is.
It's a huge field.
It really is. And it's almost as unique as your fingerprint. It really is, because there's so many things that come into play. What structure, the coverage that's applied to a single family home is not the same as a condo or mobile home. So it's you really, why stop at making sure everything is top notch when it comes to protecting it? You
Right.
put thought into, what type of home you're going to have. You want this, you want that. And now that you have all these things, let's protect it. Let's protect it with the same energy that you put into finding the perfect house.
That's true. Because if you don't protect it and something happens to it, it's virtually impossible to rebuild it. Because I found that, people don't understand that if they don't get the correct amount of insurance, the correct amount, because the what it costs to build a house in 1990 is not what it costs to build a house now in 2024.
Right.
So if you had a policy, and let's just say you've been with your insurance carrier for all of that time, well, we kind of know that policy is a lot outdated.
Yeah.
Because
Well, when you first start the policy, everything is based off of a lot of the dwelling coverage amount includes the features of your home, and the type of products that are used, like granite or slate, whatever. And then so you take that information and they say, okay, well, this is how much it will cost to replace it. So you're talking about cost of material and then the labor that's going to be charged to install it. Let's just say $5. It's $5 today to do all that. 5 years down the road, it may be $10. So that's why it's also important to include what's called extended limits, because that gives you, in a lot of cases, 120% over the dwelling coverage amount to take in account of inflation.
Right.
So I can guarantee you this. 50% of my clients have not had this type of discussion
with their insurance. That's right.
They haven't. They haven't. So I might blindside you with a question. I'm sorry. I got a question for you. This is a good one. I'm sure it happens.
It's not a trick one.
It's not a trick one. But I had a question for you. So I have my house, right? And I have my fence. But it's like a tree that's like in between kind of, neighbor's yard, my yard, and everything. But now this tree just fell. But it's really the neighbor's tree in a sense. And it falls on my fence and all that. Tell me the scenario. What happens? Who's paying for my fence and who's cutting the tree down? Like what is?
I've heard stuff like that.
Oh, it happens a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're sitting down.
Oh my God! What? Please tell us.
It's all on you.
What?
If that tree falls and it hits your house or it damages your tree, you file a claim. That's why I tell people, I can't say it loudly enough. Get to know your neighbor, and try your best to work something out. Because if that happens, they don't. Now, if the tree's dead, that could be another story, and it might be something that you might want to take up with the county. If you feel that it's, if you feel that it's a menace, I would not let it go, because if that happens, especially if it's dead, and the way the weather these days,
right.
But if that falls on you file the claim. I mean, some neighbors will be kind enough to accept responsibility for it, and but that's rare.
That's always an argument, though. It is always.
And I've heard that before. That one particular party is responsible if the tree was on my property and it fell on my neighbor's house. Then my insurance or whatever's at play, not the person's house that it fell on. So I don't know whether the insurance companies do they fight it out about because that's kind of
Well, and then as an insurance agent, I can only go but so far, because there are county codes and laws and whatnot that may, in some instances, rule in favor of the homeowner to where the other party has to pay. How that how that evolves, I am not a claim specialist, so I tend to only go but so far. But I'm
understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
That is an ugly thing when it happens, though.
It really is. So that's why I always tell people, if be aware of your surroundings, and if you feel like something like for example a dog, if you feel uncomfortable about that dog, and because some people, let's say some people don't have insurance, and some people are, your neighbor could be a renter who doesn't have renter's insurance. So yeah,
and that's true.
Yeah. So flood insurance.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm just going to put two questions into one. I'm going to
and
put it into one. So with flood insurance, I guess my first question is, are you able to get flood insurance if your home is not in a flood zone? Okay. Now, if you don't have flood insurance because your home is not in a flood zone, but your basement floods, is that considered the same thing when you're doing your insurance claim? Because I asked this question because I've had a client, their basement flooded, their insurance company said, well, you're not in a flood zone, so that wasn't, you didn't have flood insurance. But it flooded because of, I think it was a sump pump or it was the rain or something. But a lot of the stuff, they couldn't claim it. And I couldn't understand, is there a difference?
Okay. Well, let's define what a flood is. Okay.
Yes.
A flood is anything that has oversaturated the ground. When water oversaturates the ground, and then the water comes into the home by the walls, the windows, or the floors, that's flood.
Right.
That's covered by your flood insurance. If the water comes up, and let's say your sump pump stops working and water enters the home as a result of that, that's sewer backup.
Right.
So that's not covered.
No, you have to have a rider for the sewer backup.
Right.
It's a different kind of coverage that people don't even know about.
And I think I didn't get all the details.
Yeah,
I think that's
what it is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you gotta have that rider, and some people don't know it.
Yeah.
Right.
Flood is not covered under that. You know what I'm saying?
So if you understand the definition of the two, what the two represent, then you know that if in order for coverage to be provided, if the sump pump fails, that's sewer backup. It has nothing to do with flood insurance. Only if the water comes in through the windows, walls, and door. It reminds me of a song, but anyway.
To the window, to the walls. I ain't gonna sing the rest of it.
I'm glad you went there now. But yeah, if under those things, that's kind of how you can remember it, though. You can, then that's flood. Now to answer your question about purchasing the flood insurance, if you're not in a flood zone, anybody can get flood insurance. The good thing about it is that if you purchase it and you're not in a flood zone, you get a preferred rate. But but if you are in a flood zone, I would think that you all would make the homeowner aware, and they have to get it.
We do, yeah.
Right, and the rate is different. But what I also want people to know that if let's say you have the luxury of choice, you're not in a flood zone, and you wake up and you heard about a bad storm coming. Oh, I better get on the phone and get me some flood insurance. No, it doesn't work that way. Once you get it, it doesn't go into effect until 30 days after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Because people will hurry up and get insurance.
And that would be a no.
So they can claim something. I done heard that story too.
Yeah.
So in case stuff happens.
Right.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
So is there a basic plan for rental insurance, and what does that cover?
I've always thought just the term renter's insurance is so funny, because in a way it's kind of misleading, because you think that it's going to cover the some people think it covers the apartment or whatever you're renting, but it's all about personal property. So Renters insurance is good for so many reasons. Number one, the obvious, it protects your personal property, and the personal property doesn't always have to be in the home or where you reside, wherever you reside. It extends to property that's in your car in case it's stolen, or into storage shed.
Oh, what about like a personal storage? You know how people have storage,
right?
And they put the stuff in there. The renter's insurance covers that too.
Like about the 10% of the value. Yeah.
I didn't ever knew that.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Because some I don't. Nowadays, when you go to put things in storage, they require renters insurance. Yeah. So
I know they require. They usually have like their own plan or something.
Right.
So they can sell to you probably.
Yeah. Exactly. But you can avoid that if you have your own renters insurance.
Very interesting. I'm telling you, Kim Lloyd, you are keeping us on top of this insurance thing, because I'm telling you, every time I talk to Miss Kim, I find out something else that I did not know.
And here's the other thing.
Just for knowledgeable. I mean, 30 years is a long time. So you're good to know the ins and outs. I never knew that the renter's insurance
could cover. Yeah,
I never knew that. Oh wow.
Yeah. And then if you've had renter's insurance, and let's say you haven't had any losses, when you get ready to buy your home, having prior insurance helps with your rate.
Oh, isn't that so? All right. See, there you go. That's this morning. We taking notes over here. Okay, we gotta be able to let people know that when they rent a place, if they have renter's insurance, and then when they become a homeowner, right, and they purchase that $1 million house, whatever it is, that their insurance is going to be lower as a result of them having renter's insurance when they had an apartment.
Yeah, it helps because you know how. Because you know how when you let's look at credit, for instance. When you remember when you first got out there and you thought you were grown and you got your first credit card, or you trying to get your first apartment or something, and they don't know you. They don't know you, so you're having to get a cosigner or something like that because you have not built your credit.
Right.
So it's a rough start. Same thing with homeowners, because when you get that renter's insurance, you're now building a loss history. And if you have not had any, if you haven't had any losses, then when you get ready to get that homeowner's policy, you're eligible for a claims-free discount. And that's one of the best discounts that you can get.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so. Man, I'm telling you.
So let's say the person already purchased the house, right? They already set up with insurance, and then they realize, oh, I didn't get that benefit. Let me call them and tell them I need to get them. Is it too late?
She talking about herself.
No, I'm not talking about me. It's somebody else that I know. But I'm like, I might need to make a phone call so you can call your insurance people.
Oh man, those afterthoughts really get you. Those afterthoughts. It's just like when you get ready to buy that car and they extend that warranty. If you don't get it now, come back.
Absolutely.
Isn't that something? So you don't get it then.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. The thing about it is, and that is one of the reasons why it's always good to have somebody that knows about insurance, because a person would not, if they're buying their first home, they would not necessarily know that.
They wouldn't know it. I mean, even somebody that's buying their third or fourth home that was in a rental before,
may not know that.
They won't know it. And most insurance providers are not going to tell them that.
No, well, that's why when you just like when people choose, well, I'll take myself for instance. When I'm looking to do business with someone, I not only look at their success rate. I always want to. I pay attention to their character.
That's right.
Because Juanita and I conversed a lot, and one thing that I have come to know about her is that she really cares about her customers, and she is not dishonest, which means she's going to be very forthcoming with them and let them know everything about it. And then, of course, at the end of the day, you have to make the decision. But when you can find people like that in business who have a strong moral compass,
yes,
they're more than willing to share everything you need
and
to know.
tell you everything that you qualify for.
Everything you need to know. So whenever you're conducting business with someone, be it an insurance agent or realtor, whatever, you know, you can tell when you're dealing with an honest person who's want to make sure that they're just not in it to earn your business and make money off of you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, even for us in real estate, it can seem like it's a transaction and it can end up being not a transaction.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, as long as you treat that person fair and equitable in the process,
exactly,
and you know that you've done your job.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
No matter what it amounts to.
Yeah.
So, yes, yes.
That's why, you know, sometimes you try to refer them to certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't listen. They want to use their own folks. And after they use their own folks, here it is. Guess what happened? Hey.
And like you said, business and business character, because you know you want to give a person that's a first-time home buyer all of the skills that they need and all of the information so that they can be successful in a transaction. So just like a realtor, we want them to come back for us for life.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, we don't want you to do one transaction and go away forever.
Right.
So that's because you know we're in business, and that's the really good thing. But Ms. Kim, you always teach us something new every time we talk to you. So I want you to tell us, how do people get in touch with you so that you can talk to them and give them all this information so they can get insured properly?
Okay. And let them know, don't be afraid to communicate with me. I love having these conversations. So just don't think if you call or contact me that I'm trying to grab your business. It's, you know, it's just relax and enjoy the just relax. But if they want to get in touch with me, my phone number is 301-789-2304, or they can email me at kimlloyd6@allstate.com.
Awesome. All right. So y'all need to call Miss Kim Lloyd, because I'm telling you, she has dropped some nuggets on us today. I'm always in class when I talk to you. Always.
I appreciate you taking the time to spend with us this morning and give us all this information and answering all of our questions, because you know I answered them like I don't know, but then I realized I don't know everything.
You don't know what you don't know.
I get on her nerves quite a bit when even with my own stuff that I just, you know, insurance is very, very intense.
It is.
You have to know, and you have to have somebody that's a resource that will break it down and tell you what it is.
And we have clients that, you know I have clients that will start asking me insurance questions. Hun, I don't know. Let me give you somebody that's going to answer your questions. And now I know. Call Miss Kim Lloyd. Okay? Call Miss Kim Lloyd.
All right.
Thank you so much for being here. I'll make sure that I put your information in the chat and all that stuff so everybody can know how to get in touch with you. It'll also show on our YouTube channel. All of your information will be on our website at amrelite.com so that you can get in touch with Ms. Kim Lloyd. We thank you so much again for all of the information. We wish you well in your business and hope that this will spark some new things for everyone.
Exactly.
I
said hello over there at Allstate as well. And what are we, Alicia?
We are reliable realtors
providing exceptional service.
No need to go far.
Come on down to AMR.
Everybody be blessed. Thank you so much. You like our
we sound like a wacky car salesman.
Come on down.
Come on down to AMR. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much again. Thank you, everybody, for viewing this morning. I see some comments. I'll get to you guys when I can. But thank you so much. You all have a blessed one.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
All right.
Bye-bye.